Hello, I'm Jamie Baldanza and I'm a wildlife photographer and filmmaker. So our specialty in filming is wild horses. And where our wild horses live are the western United States on our public lands in very rural places. We go where the horses go, and if we think they are in an area where we can't get to them by vehicle, we have to leave the vehicle, strap on all our gear, and this is where everyone chips in, and we all carry the gear to where the horses are so we can film them. So we do have to leave stuff behind, so we make sure we have all our essentials. Wildlife in general, we don't want to interrupt them, so we try to keep it light as far as gear. A must-have while filming in the wild is actually layers of clothes, because we do wake up before the sun rises and it's usually pretty cold. So you have to have that coat and the thermals, and then sometimes by the middle of the day it'll be like 60 or 70 degrees, and you have to make sure you have that, a sun shirt or a t-shirt. And I always wear my wild rag, and I have a couple options, and they're always fun and have patterns on them. But what they essentially are scarves around the neck that you can actually put up above your face to protect you from wind and dust and the sun. So yeah, it's really important to me to stay protected. And then on top of that, I have to wear my sunglasses just because the dust can get pretty crazy. And my poor crew, we come back filthy. We're just covered in dirt, so. My Canon cameras, and that's for me personally, photography-wise. And then we have our Blackmagic Ursula Minis, and we decided to go with a smaller film camera because we are trekking through the wild, up mountains, down streams, everywhere. So our camera equipment is light, but it's still, will give you that cinematic experience. Packing for these trips can be really tricky, especially you have to really know where you're going and the weather patterns. So we'll be in the mountains, it'll be beautiful and sunny, and all of a sudden we'll just be getting pelted by hail. So of course, our first thing, we don't care about ourselves. We're like, protect the gear. We have to wait it out. Of course, if we get a day where it's raining nonstop, my crew is great. They'll still do it. We just have to make sure our gear is protected. Before we go to a new area, we always look at an aerial view of the herd management area. And we first look at where the roads go, how close to water. Of course, my partner, Deb, who is my co-host of the show, she loves a good old-fashioned map, and sometimes we have to use it because GPS in this area is like non-existent. You don't have any signals. Because we are a skeleton crew, we all have to wear a lot of different hats. We do have a producer, and we use her more for pre-production, and then she sends me what's called the Bible, and that's basically every little thing that we need to get done, where we need to be, at what time, who is interviewing, everything, and we put it in our fun little binder, and that stays with me on the shoot. But so I have to play the producer and the director in the wild. So I like to have my little binder that tells me where and when I need to be. While filming wildlife, you kind of have to go in there with a blank slate because you never know what you're going to get. We usually track the horses for the day so we can get them in the correct lighting. Since we know wild horses, we know their patterns and their behaviors, we can tell if, like, say, two stallions are about to fight and it's about to be sunset, so we know where to set up. And then we see it, and the whole crew just kind of quiets, like after that shot, and we all walk away. It's a very difficult process because you can have your outline for documentary filmmaking, but it's not like a narrative where you have everything scripted and planned out. You only get what your content gives you. You might have a narrative in your head, but then someone says something in an interview that's gold, and it just puts you down a completely different path. So we usually take a couple months to go through that footage and find all the little nuggets that we can use for the story, and then sometimes we end up with something completely different than what we started with. It's been a crazy journey. We did our filming right before COVID, and then COVID happened. And Since everything went virtual, we couldn't get the meetings we needed to get distribution, so we decided to put it on YouTube and just like say, screw it, let's just give it to everyone for free, you know? And we were able to garner 500,000 views. And so now that everything's opened back up and we're starting to push the screenings again, we are doing the second episode. We're going to fly out and film it next week, and we're just gonna keep pushing until we get something.